Baby hits per hour. You're gonna see some serious
Oh God, we've had some technical difficulties here. Hello. Guten Abend, bonsoir. Willkommen, bienvenue, and this is Vestrever calling all of Europe hello and a very good evening to you all, wherever you are in the world. This is Big Nerd Pub Quiz live on YouTube, and I'm your host for this evening, Mark Hughes. Delighted to have you joining us here this evening, tonight, as I test your knowledge over a very wide range of subjects. Tonight we've got history, food and drink, sports, a couple of picture rounds, science, and a very special 2 rounds looking back at that magnificent Eurovision Song Contest tonight. We've also got more specialty quizzes to announce over the next few weeks, so stick about to find out more. If you've played before, welcome back. If this is your first time, you're very, very welcome. Get ready. Here's how you play the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Here we go, and bang. All right, so very, very welcome to you all to the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. You can play the good old-fashioned way using a pen and paper. You can also use the Google form in the link of the YouTube description below. Get the music up. You can also play as a team or individually. It's totally up to yourself. Open the Google link. Simply pop in your email address and answer the multiple choice questions as they are asked. There are 8 rounds with 6 questions each, and there's only 1 correct answer per question. Once the quiz is finished, simply hit submit. You'll get your scores at the very end, but stick about to see the answers for the quiz. Plus, later on tonight, I'm going to be announcing another quiz coming up pretty soon, so do stick about for that at the very end of the night. It's recommended that you stream the quiz on a laptop or a television and play using the Google form on your phone or other device. Like I said before, good luck. And the most important thing is to have some fun. So get in touch, keep in touch with Big Nerd Pub Quiz via all the social medias. We're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And if you want to shout out at any point in the night, try to get in touch via the Facebook DM. That's the best way. And you can also email me on bignerdpubquiz@gmail.com for any other inquiries. Don't forget to share your picks using Big Nerd Pub Quiz, the hashtag there. And I love seeing all your pictures of wherever you guys are playing. It's absolutely fantastic. We've got players from all around the world showing themselves playing the quiz. And it's great to see it, absolutely. And listen, if you're enjoying the quiz, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share at youtube.com/BigNerdPubQuiz with your friends if you think it's awesome. I'd love to see everyone playing. And don't forget, you can replay any of the episodes that we have on the YouTube channel there. We've got loads of specialty quizzes, including the Harry Potter quiz, which was on earlier in the week. Game of Thrones, Star Wars, whatever you got, whatever you want, it's there. We've got you covered in terms of fandom. And if you've got little ones, we've got the Big Nerd Kids quiz every Tuesday at 2 p.m. And if you want something vaguely educational to do for about an hour, by all means, tune into that. Speaking of specialty quizzes, on the Monday, it's the Marvel DC quiz. I've had a look at the questions written by Neil Cochran, who's volunteered to write this one. It's looking cool. And it's not just Marvel DC, it's covering a wide range of comics and stuff like that. By all means, do check that out. Also, later in the week, we've got the Big Nerd 80s quiz. That's going to be testing your knowledge on all things 80s from the decade with big shoulder pads and crazy synth pop music. John Hughes' Rite de Passage movies, Back to the Future, Arnie and Ghostbusters. It's all there waiting for you. And I announced this yesterday. I can't believe the feedback I got for this, but Big Nerd Pub Quiz is going to be doing a Disney quiz on Monday the 25th of May. That's going to be written by Theresa Ray, friend of mine, not the Prime Minister. She's going to be helping me write that one on Monday the 25th of May. And she's also lined up a girl friend of hers called Victoria, who is a Disney academic. So yeah, this should be a good one. We'll make this one for everyone to enjoy. That's the Disney quiz on Monday the 25th of May. And for all you sports fans out there, I know the Bundesliga, the Bundesliga is back this week, but the Big Nerd football quiz is on Wednesday the 27th of May next week. So do check that out for all you football fans. So that's the calendar for the rest of May. Stick about, because at the end of the quiz, I'm going to be announcing another one, our first one for July. So do stick about before I do announce that. Don't forget, tonight you can win a Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirt courtesy of Northern Iron Tees and a trial pack of Enerzaid. Use the code BigNerdQuiz for 25% discount. Enerzaid is a drink that tastes almost like Lucozade, the old school Lucozade, so do check them out. That's pretty cool. And of course, if you want to win the Big Nerd Pub Quiz Harry Potter shirt, enter via the Instagram and Facebook competition. Go down and look that, like, share, and post and tag 3 friends in that to win. And don't forget that the Big Nerd Pub Quiz is always going to be free to play. However, you can support the work that goes into making it. Please consider donating as little as £1 to the PayPal or become a Patreon. Massive thank you to all the supporters out there from myself. It's been absolutely amazing. Now, let's get straight down to it. Here is your first round of the evening. It is, as always, the general knowledge round. Alright, so Google Docs at the ready, pen and papers at hand. Here we go. Here's our first question of the evening. I might have given the answer to this one away already, but here we go. Round 1, question 1. Which country's football league restarts today, albeit behind closed doors? Very, very simple, that one. I think I've got loads of mates of mine placing random accumulators on teams they've never heard of. But yes, round 1, question 1. Which country's football league restarts today, albeit behind closed doors? I did give you the answer there to that one. You should get a bonus point from me. Round 1, question number 2. Donald Trump revealed the flag of a new branch of the US military this week. What is it called? Yes, this is a bit of a random one. In fact, they're actually making a kind of a spoof sitcom about it. I think it might be on Amazon, but yeah, it stars Steve Carell and John Malkovich. It's also the name of this brand new branch of the US military. What is it called? You've got 4 options in front of you there. Round 1, question 2. Moving on to round 1, question number 3. Which rock and roll pioneer passed away this week, aged 87? He had hits with songs such as Long Tall Sally and Tutti Frutti. The guy was so influential that he inspired the Beatles and loads of other musicians. But yes, which rock and roll pioneer passed away this week, aged 87? He had hits with songs such as Long Tall Sally and Tutti Frutti. It's round 1, question number 3. This next question, you all know I'm a big Trekkie, but yes, a new Star Trek series. Round 1, question 4. A new Star Trek series was announced this week, which will star Anson Mount, Ethan Peck, and Rebecca Romaine. What's it going to be called? So yes, another prequel Star Trek series. This one's going to follow the exploits of a young Spock, Number 1, and Captain Pike, played by Anson Mount, whom I've met at a convention, actually. Yes, really lovely guy. And I actually asked him, will there be a Captain Pike series? And he said, I can't tell you. But yes, it's in the works. CBS announced it there. But I'm looking for the name of the new Star Trek series. They had Picard there recently, Discovery, another one called Lower Decks coming out soon, an animated one. But what's the new Star Trek series going to be called? It was only announced yesterday. Round 1, question 5, another space one, but scientists at an observatory in Hawaii gather a very clear view of which gas giant planet this week. So yes, this particular observatory is extremely high up a mountain in Hawaii and uses artificial intelligence to actually predict this very still image of this particular planet. And it's the best image garnered from the ground. But yes, which gas giant did we get a clear picture of this week? And your final question of the general knowledge round, round 1, question 6. Charlie Brooker returned to TV presenting Antiviral Wipe this week. What dark drama series for Channel 4 Netflix is he best known for creating? If you haven't seen that one yet, do watch it. It's on BBC iPlayer. It's absolutely fantastic. Very funny. How he describes the health secretary is absolutely amazing. I won't spoil it. But round 1, question 6. Charlie Brooker. What dark drama series for Channel 4 and Netflix is he best known for creating? And like for every round, we do a quick roundup at the end. So here's your round 1 roundup. So number 1, which country's football league restarts today, albeit behind closed doors? Number 2, Donald Trump revealed the flag of a new branch of the US military this week. What's it called? 3, which rock and roll pioneer passed away this week, aged 87? It hits with songs such as Long Tall Sally and Tutti Frutti. 4, I'm looking for the name of the new Star Trek series announced this week. 5, scientists in Hawaii gained a clear picture of which gas giant? And number 6, Charlie Brooker returned to TV. But what dark drama series for Channel 4 and Netflix is he best known for creating? He's also married to Blue Peter presenter Connie Huck. So there you are. So there you go. That's the first round of this evening. Thank you very much for joining me. Of course, don't forget to get in touch with me over all the social media. I've got a ton of shoutouts to read after the second round tonight. But yes, use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz and get in touch with me on all the feeds there. Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And don't forget to look out for the wee competition that's in there to win an exclusive Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirt. Okay, moving on now to the next round of the evening. And we're mixing things up a bit. The second round of the evening is going to be food and drink. Alright, so this food and drink round, 6 questions, very basic, all about stuff relating to the world of food and drink. So here we go. Here's round 2, question number 1. So yes, round 2, question 1. How many standard bottles of wine are there in a Methuselah? So yes, the various rankings, you may have heard of some of them like Magnums and Nebuchadnezzars, but this is a standard bottle. How many standard bottles are in a Methuselah? Round 2, question 1. For any wine experts out there, tap them on the shoulder, they should know this. But how many standard bottles of wine are there in a Methuselah? Round 2, question 2. What does IPA stand for? Very straightforward. I know a lot of you out there love your craft beer. But yes, I'm looking for number 2, round 2. What does IPA stand for? Round 2, question number 3. Eccles cakes come from which UK county? So, give you a clue, it's somewhere up north. So, if you have any northern friends up there, and I'm pretty sure I've got a couple who actually do watch the quiz week in, week out. But yes, Eccles cakes. Never tried one. But Eccles cakes come from which UK county? Round 2, question 3. Worst comes to worst, if you don't know the answer, give it a guess. Got a 1 out of 4 chance, I guess. Okay, round 2, question 4. Now, I do apologize for my pronunciation of this, but Gruyere is a hard yellow cheese from which country? I know some of my francophone friends who are watching tonight will be criticizing me on this, but Gruyere is a hard yellow cheese from which country? That probably gives you a clue in that it is a francophone word, so take a punt. Round 2, question 4. Gruyere. Gruyere. It's a hard yellow cheese from which country? Round 2, question number 5. Ed Kimber was the first winner of which UK cooking show? So round 2, question 5. Ed Kimber. He was the first winner of which UK cooking show? Don't want to give away the year, but it's a very, very popular program. Round 2, question 5. And finally, round 2, question 6. Bit of a curveball this one, but which football team did TV chef Gordon Ramsay trial for as a teenager? Yes, in a past life, Gordon Ramsay, before swearing at random chefs in a kitchen, was actually a promising young footballer. But which football team did TV chef Gordon Ramsay trial for as a teenager? And there's your food and drink roundup there. Round 2, question number 1. So here we go again. How many standard bottles of wine are there in a Methuselah? Number 2, what does IPA stand for? I'm sure loads of you will know that one. Eccles cakes come from which UK county is question number 3. Gruyere, number 4, is a hard yellow cheese from which country? Number 5, Ed Kimber was the first winner of which UK cooking show? And number 6, which football team did chef Gordon Ramsay play for as a teenager? For all accounts, he actually just played a couple of games. But yes, if you're into football, don't forget we are doing a football quiz that's in 2 weeks' time. It was written by my good friend Tom. So thank you so million for that. He sent it over to me last night and I got to read it today. It's absolutely really entertaining, even if you're not a football fan. It's got enough in there to test your knowledge of the beautiful game. But yes, I know so many of you out there who are missing it. And speaking of which, we're going to do some shoutouts right now before we move on to the third round tonight. Harold texted in during the week and he says his 99-year-old grandmother, Meredith, absolutely loves the quiz and she would love a shoutouts and she loves science rounds. So I won't disappoint you tonight. There is a science round in it tonight. Really good to hear from you, Meredith. Laurie wants a shout out to Anne from Coxheath, Cape Breton in Canada. Another one of my weird Canadian contingents. It's her birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday for that. Chris wants a shout out to Brenda from Ballygowan. He's the love of her life, and they've been apart for 8 weeks now, and the quiz brings them together each week. So that's really lovely to hear that, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And Edith and Mark want to have a shout out from Karen and Bobby, and they're playing in Andystown in Belfast. Good to hear from you guys. Keep the shout outs coming in. Use the old hashtag there, BigNerdPubQuiz, and give me a DM via Facebook. Facebook direct message, best way to get me. Okay, so like I said, tonight we should have all been sitting down picking our countries out of the sweepstakes and playing our Eurovision games tonight, and sadly that's not happening. However, we've got a first of our Eurovision rounds tonight coming up. So here we are, Eurovision Part 1. Alright, so Eurovision Part 1. So yes, 6 basic questions about your general knowledge of the Eurovision. So here we go, round 3, question number 1. Arguably the most famous band to ever win it. But ABBA won the Eurovision in '74 for Sweden, but with which song? Round 3, question number 1. Arguably the contest launched them onto the world, and they became one of the biggest selling acts of all time. But round 3, question number 1. ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974 for Sweden with which song? Interestingly, the Eurovision Song Contest at that time in the mid-70s dropped the rule that you had to perform the song in your own language, which was a bonus for countries like Norway and Dutch, which don't really sound great when they're sung. So a load of these like Scandinavian countries all just started putting out songs in English, and then they reverted back to that. Didn't lift the own language rule again until like the late 90s. But yes, ABBA got in. What song? 74. Round 3, question number 2. Who was the first UK winner of the Eurovision? So UK, I think, have produced about 6 winners of the competition overall. But round 3, question 2. Who was the first winner of the UK Eurovision for the UK? The last being, obviously, Katrina and the Waves in 97, I think it was. Yes, round 3, question 2. Who was the first UK winner of Eurovision? Round 3, question number 3. In which country was the first Eurovision Song Contest held all the way back in 1956? And the competition was actually started as a way to kind of bring post-World War II countries together in Europe in a spirit of friendly cooperation and competition. And this was an idea based on an Italian song contest based in the early 50s. So they launched this, the European Broadcasting Commission, who run it, started it up in 56, and that's how it all began. The communists actually started one as well called Intervision amongst all the Warsaw Pact countries, but no one could actually phone in because nobody really had phones in those communist-era countries. So yeah, to vote for the countries, everyone was encouraged to turn off their lights and turn them on again for like if they liked the country, so they could register who won via the power grid. Mad. Anyway, but first Eurovision Song Contest, where was it held? 56. Where was that held? So round 3, question number 4. Which Irish singer is the only act to win the Eurovision twice? Sure, loads of you at home will get that if you're from these shores. Round 3, question 4. Which Irish singer was the only act to win the Eurovision twice? What's Another Year and Hold Me Now were the 2 songs. Not going to give you any more clues than that. That's round 3, question number 4. Round 3, question 5. Dana International became the competition's first trans winner. But which country did she represent in 1998 with her winning song? So round 3, question number 5. Dana International became the competition's first ever trans winner. So which country did she represent in 1998? And round 3, question 6. Which group from the UK infamously finished last with 0 points in 2003? It's a very difficult watch. It's out of tune. So if you do look it up, it's pretty cringy stuff. But yes, which UK group infamously finished last with 0 points in 2003? And that's your first Eurovision round up there. So question number 1, ABBA won the first Eurovision Song Contest, or won the Eurovision Song Contest in 74, but for which song? 2, who was the first UK winner of the Eurovision? 3, in which country was the first Eurovision Song Contest held? 4, who won the competition twice for Ireland? 5, which country did Dana International represent in 1998? And 6, which UK group finished 0 points in 2003? Okay, so that's round 3. That's your first Eurovision questions done for this evening. Coming up to the near about the halfway mark, and we're going to move on to the next round, which is our history round. And we've themed tonight's history round to be about US presidents. So the next 6 questions you're going to get are all about how much you know about presidents, the commander-in-chief of the United States of America. So here we go. Round 4, question number 1. Very simple one to get you started off with this one, but what is the name of the president's office in the White House? Actually, not in that building itself. As you know, the very famous West Wing, which is off to the west there. Oh, it's actually off to the left of the building. And that's where the president's office is. But what is the name of the president's office? Round 4, question 2, your second presidential questions about who was the first president to live in the White House. Interestingly, a man from Rostrevor, a fella called Robert Ross, General Robert Ross, actually led the British Army into Washington during the War of 1812 and burnt the White House down. And there's a monument to him right round the corner from my house. Yes. Interestingly, he fell at the Battle of Bladensburg during the War of 1812, and it was there that Francis Scott Key wrote the anthem to America. But yes, General Robert Ross, the man who actually burnt down the White House. But who was the first US president to live in it? Another interesting fact, an Irishman designed it, James Hoban. And it's based on the design of Leinster House in Dublin. So there you are. Round 4, question number 3. So which president was the first to face impeachment proceedings? So far, I think only 3 so far have faced impeachment proceedings. Actually never got impeached. But which was the first president? Who was the first president to face impeachment proceedings? Round 4, question 4. Now, I'm going to clarify this, because I know there's going to be an issue with this, but how many people have been president of the United States? I'm not looking for the number. And I will tell you the anomaly. Grover Cleveland served as president in non-consecutive terms. Okay? And he's counted as 2 presidents. But I'm looking for how many people have been president of the United States. Okay? It's not the number you're thinking of. I know everyone's like, oh right, but Donald Trump is, but it's, okay, that is true. But how many people have been president of the United States? Alright. Question 5, round 4. Who was president of the United States at the beginning of the 20th century? One of only 4 presidents to actually have been assassinated. Now, there's been Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, and I can't remember the other one for the life of me, actually. It's gone out of my mind. But who was president of the United States at the beginning of the 20th century? And round 4, question 6. What call sign is given to the president's green helicopter? So, round 4, question 6. James Garfield. That's the other president. Sorry, I just looked that up there. I can't let that one go. But yes, the president, you see him getting on this green helicopter every so often. As you all know, Air Force One is the name of his plane. So you can eliminate that one from the multiple choice. But his call sign is he has a different call sign when he gets on this helicopter. Sikorsky Sea Kings. But yes, what call sign is given to the president's green helicopter? And there's your presidential roundup there for this evening. So number 1, what is the name of the president's office in the White House? 2, who was the first US president to live in the White House? 3, which commander-in-chief was the first to face impeachment proceedings? And 4, how many people have served in the executive office of the United States? 5, who was the commander-in-chief at the beginning of the 20th century? And what is the name given to Donald Trump's green helicopters? Interestingly, they all have they fly like 2 at a time, so if people want to shoot them down, they don't know which one to do. It's crazy. Anyway, so yes, we've reached the halfway point of the quiz. It's just coming up to 8:30 tonight on the 16th of May. Quick time to do some more shoutouts for this evening. Stephen, Ruth, Sarah, Lou, and Babs are playing in Newton Abbey and Edinburgh. They're playing against each other, I think. Anyway, good to hear from you guys. Mike wants a Breaking Bad quiz and a Better Call Saul quiz. Well, like I said, I'm going to be announcing loads more quizzes coming up over the next couple of weeks, so do stick about for that, including a brand new quiz, which I'm keeping secret until the very, very end of the broadcast, so do stick about for that. Mamta and Milan are watching in Manchester, as always. Colin and Sarah are playing in Donegal. Good to hear from you guys. And lots of love to my buddies Hannah, Phil, Greg, Juliet, Steph, Ollie, Paul, Rory, Vicky, Theo, Lloyd, Becca, George, Haley, Dave, Sarah, Tom. We're going to be playing our Eurovision party after this. So yes, really looking forward to that. So yes, keep the shoutouts coming to all the social medias, and don't worry if I'm sorry if I can't get to you at any point tonight. I get swamped when I do these, but yes, I'll try my very, very best. So get in touch via all the different social media channels there. BigNerdPubQuiz if you just look it up. Some quick ads to go through before we move on to the next round. Check out my buddy's podcast, Stuck in Here With You, on Spotify, Podbean, and Apple Podcasts. It's an isolation podcast by two buddies, Jez and Mary, and they're hunkering down in London trying to survive, and this podcast is keeping them sane to some degree. Anyway, Hot Topic Nightmare, my buddy Paul, he's got this fantastic podcast which tests our friends' ability to come up and do presentations on random topics, so do check that out. That is Hot Topic Nightmare. Oh, don't forget Banterflix have fantastic podcasts and have a show on NVTV in Belfast. It's really, really cool. Do check that out. Teresa is from Banterflix is helping me write the Disney quiz, which is coming up. And to mention, Gav wants me to mention Fright Club's free art giveaway. So if you want some free horror art, check out at the Fright Club NI on Twitter and see if you can get your hand on some cool prints after this. Also, don't forget to check out my friend Talissa's podcast, the Transatlantic Crime Podcast. That's on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And my buddies Lee's projects. They're the Nerd Party, collection of podcasts and shows dedicated to everything, all things nerd, geek, and everything in between. Right, and like I said before, you can win this Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirt. And you can also win this one on the Facebook and Instagram. Look for that post and tag and share with 3 buddies, as well as some fantastic, tasty Enerzaid as well. That's Enerzaid. Use the code BigNerdQuiz for 25% discount on that. It tastes fantastic. It's like the old school Lucasade drink. Do check that out. And like I said before, this quiz is always free to play. And I would always love for you to subscribe and to like the quiz and to support the quizzes by donating as little as £1 to Big Nerd Pub Quiz on PayPal and on Patreon. Thank you so much for all the support over the last couple of weeks. It's been absolutely invaluable. And like I said, this has become a full-time job for me during lockdown, and it's an absolute honor and a privilege for me to do this. I really, really enjoy it. So cheers. Thanks a million for tuning in and sharing it with your mates. Anyway, firing on with the next round of the quiz, and it's round 5. And if you've been playing the quiz for the last couple of weeks, you will know that round 5 is always the sports round. Now, I know there's a big groan from people out there who don't really think that sports are nerdy enough, but you know what? I do think they are. But yes, this sports round is a one with a little bit of a difference. The next 6 questions are all about fictional sports teams. So this round will test your memory of TV shows, movies, and comics relating to famous fictional sports teams. So here we go. Round 5, question number 1. Pretty old school, this one. But round 5, question 1. Which football team does Roy the Rovers play for? You know when they say Roy the Rovers stuff? Like scoring 3 goals in the last 2 minutes of a game. Kind of like Spurs in that Champions League game against Ajax last year, you know? But they are. But which football team does Roy the Rovers play for? This should give you some mad nostalgic flashbacks. But round 5, question number 2. Name the fictional ice hockey team coached by Emilio Estevez in the movies, which later became an actual sports franchise. Yes, the movies were produced by Disney, and they invested in an actual ice hockey team and called them the something of Anaheim. And they still exist. But yes, name the fictional ice hockey team coached by Emilio Estevez in the movies, which later became an actual sports franchise. Round 5, question 3. Vince Vaughn, Justin Long, and Stephen Root play for which fictional dodgeball team? Absolutely love this film. So many really good. I love Rip Torn in the wheelchair. Dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Round 5, question 3. So Vince Vaughn, Justin Long, and Stephen Root play for which fictional dodgeball team? If you've seen the movie, you'll know which team they play for. They're all in yellow. Round 5, question 4, Simpsons 1. What's the name of the baseball team that represents Springfield in the Simpsons series? You see them quite a lot of times. Homer actually works for them as a mascot at one point in the episode Dancing Homer. I think it was an season 2 episode. But yes, round 5, question number 4. What's the name of the baseball team that represents Springfield in the Simpsons? Could there be a Simpsons quiz coming up? Stick about to find out. Round 5, question 5. What team does Michael Jordan play for alongside the Warner Brother cartoon characters in the film Space Jam? Who could forget? And last week, me and my buddies we had a Netflix watch party where we all signed in on Discord and had a watch along of Space Jam. Mad nostalgic. It still holds up, I think. The story's not great, but the animation's pretty cool. The soundtrack's wicked as well. And finally, round 5, question 6. The Flint Tropics are the name of the basketball team in which Will Ferrell comedy film? And if you know your US geography, Flint is in Michigan and it's really cold. So why on earth are they called the Tropics? But yes, so round 5, question 6. The Flint Tropics are the name of the basketball team in which Will Ferrell comedy movie? Really underrated one. I don't think it's not that I don't think it came out in the UK, but it's one of those ones that didn't get pushed as much. But it's definitely a classic. You should definitely check it out. It's really, really cool. So, there's your sports roundup. I hope that wasn't too bad. I know a load of you's not into your sports, but I'm sure some of you's got those questions. So, rounding up again, which football team does Roy the Rovers play for? Number 2, naming the fictional ice hockey team coached by Emilio Estevez in the movies, which later became an actual sports franchise. 3, Vince Vaughn, Justin Long, and Stephen Root play for which fictional dodgeball team in the movie? Number 4, what's the name of the baseball team that represents Springfield in The Simpsons? Number 5, what team does Michael Jordan play for alongside the Warner Brother cartoons in the film Space Jam? And number 6, the Flint Tropics are the name of the basketball team in which Will Ferrell comedy movie? Alright, so hoping that wasn't too bad for you. Firing on, it's 25-9. So here we go, here's our next round of the evening, and it is biology and the human body. Yes, decided to go away from the standard geography round that we always seem to do. So I thought, we'll do one on the human body, a bit of a science round. And like I said, I had a text in last week from a team of scientists who are playing a group of ones called the Lemons in Newton Ards. I hope they're playing tonight. Good to hear from you guys if you are. But they were desperate to have a science round. So here we go. Round 6, biology. So, apologies if I'm not pronouncing these right, but round 6, question number 1. Where is the pharynx located? So where in the body is the pharynx located? So look at your options there on your Google form. That should give you a clue. If you're playing analog and you're marking your answers later on, and if you're pretty close, do give yourself the point. But yes, on the answer sheet there are 4 answers. Where is the pharynx located? Where on the body is the pharynx located? This is round 6, question 1. Question 2 of round 6. What is the average temperature of a healthy human being in degrees centigrade? Round 6, question 2. What is the average temperature of a healthy human being in degrees centigrade?
Yep.
Round 6, question 3. What is the name of the system in the human body that transports blood? So yes, round 6, question number 3. I'm looking for the name of the system in the human body that transports blood. Hope you're enjoying the music. I've actually got a brand new music license from Endemic Sounds. So yes, nice royalty-free tunes that I can play without getting copyright strikes from YouTube. Alright, so round 6, question 4. So found at the back of the leg, what is the more common name for the calcaneal tendon? Am I pronouncing that right? Calcaneal? Calcaneal. So yes, found at the back of the leg, what is the more common name for the calcaneal tendon? Even if you don't know it, check out the Google stocks, options, and that should give you a clue. You'll have heard of this one. Round 6, question 5. What is the longest and strongest bone in the human body? So it's round 6, question number 5. What is the longest and strongest bone in the human body? And round 6, question 6, the final biology question of the evening. In what part of the body are the metatarsal bones? You might have heard of this one if you're a sports fan. A certain player a couple of years ago injured himself. And no one had ever heard of this part of the body before, I don't think, in layman's terms. And then suddenly it was on everybody's lips during a certain World Cup. I think it was 2002. But yes, round 6, question 6. In what part of the body are the metatarsal bones? And there's your biology science roundup for this evening. So, question number 1 of round 6. Where is the pharynx located? 2, I'm looking for the average temperature of a healthy human in degrees centigrade. Number 3, what is the name of the system of the human body that transports blood? Number 4, at the back of the leg, what is the more common name for the calcaneal tendon? Do let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. And number 5, what is the longest and strongest bone in the human body? And number 6, in what part of the body are the metatarsal bones? Okay, and that is your biology roundup done. Just see if we can do some more shout-outs before here. Aurel Solia is playing tonight, as is Sam Taylor. They give us a shout-out this evening. Lisa, Scott, Carl, and Anna are in the house, and they are playing tonight. And a big shout-out to my friends and family who are watching all around the world. I know Rai Komisky always tunes in. Haley Holland always tunes in on Saturday night as well. And yes, do keep your shout-outs coming. I'll try to read as many of them out after the next round before we go into round 8 and the answers for the evening. And don't forget to stick about to hear a brand new quiz which is coming out later on in the month. So here we go. Round 7 is our next Eurovision round of the evening, and here we go. So Eurovision Part 2, I'm looking for which country did these acts represent? So yes, I'm going to show you 6 different acts that have performed in the Eurovision over the years. Some easy, some not so easy. Some you will recognize, some you'll be like scratching your heads about, I think. But yes, all 6 acts have represented the Eurovision over the last couple of years. All I'm looking for is the country they represented. That's it. I'm going to show you the name of the artist and the song that they sang. That might jog some memories. But yes, starting off tonight's second Eurovision round. Here we go. Round 7, question number 1. Cliff Richard there, obviously stealing Austin Powers' wardrobe. Round 7, question number 1. Cliff Richard with Congratulations. If I'm not mistaken, I think Phil Coulter wrote that. And he also wrote the other famous, I think he wrote a couple of Eurovision hits. Dude, I need to check that one out. But Cliff Richard, rocking the Austin Powers look there. I believe it was 1968. Congratulations. Round 7, question 1. The next one. Round 7, question 2. Conchita Wurst, Rise Like a Phoenix. Very famous Eurovision entry there. A very famous Eurovision winner. Which country did Conchita Wurst represent? Rise Like a Phoenix. That's round 7, question number 2. Round 7, question 3. Lordi with Rock Hallelujah. Like, Eurovision is anything but boring. And yes, this track was just one of those left field ones which, well, I'm not saying nobody expected it to win, but it was just so mental that it had to. Like, normally you watch Eurovision acts and there's always a gimmick, someone in a hamster wheel, or someone churning butter, or like, yeah, there was that did happen like in one Eurovision. But yes, round 7, question 3, Lordi, Rock Hallelujah. But that's why we love the competition. It's just so wonderfully bonkers. Like, speaking of bonkers, here's another one. Round 7, question 4. Ruanovskia Babushki, and this party for everybody. Yes, these dancing grannies represented which country in the song contest? Buranovsky Babushki. I know I have a Russian viewer who does tune in. And I attempted to pronounce what the Russian is for the Great Patriotic War the other week. How am I doing with this one? Let me know. Buranovsky Babushki. Party for everybody. That's number 4. Going on to number 5. Severka Suduka, Dancing Lasha Tumbai. Voted one of the greatest songs to never actually win the Eurovision. Verka is a comedian in his native country. This was a controversial choice to go to the Eurovision, but to me, it really does sum up what it's all about. Reminds me of Christopher Biggins in a weird way. Christopher Biggins smashed into a disco ball. Actually appeared in the movie Spy. But yes, Verka Surdurka, Dancing Lasha Tumbai. If you don't remember the song, it's 7-7-7-8-1-2-3. Dancing. That's the tune. Round 7, question 5. And round 7, question 6. Sunstroke Project, aka Epic Sax Guy, with the tune was Runaway. But you may know this song more for this 5-second sax solo, which has been diluted and churned up into a meme over the years. It's just known as Epic Sax Guy. Again, the song didn't actually win the Eurovision, but Sunstroke Project actually came back and represented their country again a second time. Epic Sax Guy was on the sax again. But yes, which country did Epic Sax Guy come from? So there's your Eurovision roundup. So Cliff Richard with Congratulations, Conchita Wurst with Rise Like a Phoenix, Lordi, Rock Hallelujah, Buranovsky Babushki, Party for Everybody, Verka Serdukia, Dancing Lasha Tumbai, and Sunstroke Project with aka Epic Sax Guy with Runaway. Okay, so that's the final, penultimate round before we go on to our final round this evening. Gonna do some more shoutouts before we move on to the final one. And don't forget, before the very, very last question, you will be able to see your results once you hit submit. So once you do that, you'll be able to get your scores right away. But do stick about to hear the answers and some of our upcoming quizzes coming in the next few weeks. A couple of more shoutouts before we go. Susan Teague says, shout out to my husband Ryan from Portadown. We love playing along every Saturday. Good to hear from you guys. Shout out to the Prestons and Newton Nards, and that's from Rachel McClements. Claire Hughes wants a shout out to Claire and Steve eating lasagna in Warren Point. Good to hear from you guys. Shout out to the McAteer family and the Collins family, and that's from Jenny. One more shout out before we move on. Can we do a shout out to Monica, and that's from Christoph. We compete against each other every week in Newcastle upon Tyne. Cheers. Keep the shout outs coming in via all the social media channels, and I'll try my best to do a shout out before the very end of the night before we do the answers. So here we go. Our final round tonight should be an easy one. If you find the quiz a little bit difficult, you should be able to pick up points with this one. Our final round of this evening is logos. And yes, this was recommended to me last night by a viewer. He wanted to do a logo round, and I said, sure, why not? So if you have any ideas for any suggestions for quizzes or rounds, let me know. If you want to write them, by all means, go ahead. I've got tons coming up, but here we go. Round 8, question 1, our final round of the evening, and it's all about logos. So here we go. Round 8, question number 1. So what logo is that? So all these are for different products, some of them are for different corporations. Round 8, question number 1. Round 8, question 2. We won't be traveling on any of these pretty soon. I don't know, maybe you can. Round 8, question 2. Round 8, question 3. Former leader in telecommunications at one point. Which company logo is this? It's round 8, question number 3. Round 8, question 4. I know what you're thinking. It's a food chain. But which food chain? Round 8, question 4. Round 8, question number 5. Your penultimate question of Big Nerd Pub Quiz this Saturday. Don't forget, before I click the next question, you can submit your answers. I'll go through these questions one more time at the very, very end. Get ready for your final question of this evening. Hit submit, get your score. But do stick about for the answers of tonight's quiz. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Round 8, question 6. Yes, it's a car manufacturer, a luxury car manufacturer, but which one? Sure, Phil, you'll get that one. Not a bother to you, man. Anyway, so quick roundup again of the logo round. So round 8, question 1. Question 2. Round 8, question 3. Round 8, question 4. Question number 5. And finally, question number 6. And that is Big Nerd Pub Quiz for this Saturday, the 16th of May. Thank you very much for tuning in. Stick about. We're going to be doing the answers now shortly. A couple more shout-outs to do before we move on. This one is, I don't know where you can see that, but that's my friend Rebecca's dog. It's Lola Kowalski. She wants a shout-out. She's helping her dad with the answers, though she's not very good. Oh, that's good to hear from you, Rebecca. Rebecca also made me this. I don't know if you can see this, but Rebecca made me this a couple of weeks ago. It's like a wooden Big Nerd Pub Quiz plaque. So I'm going to see if I can get that mounted somewhere. But thanks a million for that, Rebecca. I hope you're keeping well, and I hope everyone, all your family are doing well. A couple more shout-outs before we shoot out to the final answers here tonight. Olivia McKee wants a shout-out to the family in East Belfast. That's from Olivia, Luke, and Dawn. Good to hear from you guys. We've got a 25th wedding anniversary to Andrea and George Preston playing tonight, and that's from Gillian Patterson. Good to hear from you. Sean McCullough, he says, thanks for helping me set up my quiz for this Tuesday. Playing along this week as usual. Give a shout out to Carly O'Reilly and tell her the enemies will win again. Good man, Sean. Good to hear from you. Corey wants a shout out to the Brown family in Newton Ards. Andrew Hamilton wants a shout out to Ashley Lauren and the Big Drew. Much appreciated. Love the show. Always tune in. Teresa McQuaid wants a shout out to Shona Paul playing in Newry, not too far away from me. Only got a couple more here. Michelle wants a shout out to Alison and Leighton who are playing in Paris, and Richard and Michelle in Belfast. Kathy wants a shout out to the Duffys and Donnellys and the Burns in Beachmount playing the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Victoria wants a shout out to her mum and dad in Cape Town. Wow. And Claire Cooper says big shout out to Frank and Cooper. And we're having a great night from Simon, Debbie, Wayne, and Claire. And one more. Siobhan Murphy in Tyrone, and that's from Eamon Boyle. She's still teaching during the pandemic. Fair play to you. Okay, thanks very much for getting in touch. If I didn't get a chance to give you a shout out this evening, I do apologize. I will try my best next time. Okay, so here's the answers for tonight's Big Nerd Pub Quiz, round number 1. So Germany, the Bundesliga, I'll give you that one for free, was the league that's starting off this week. Space Force is Donald Trump's new wing of the military. Little Richard sadly passed away there during the week. Strange New Worlds is the new Star Trek series. The planet was Jupiter, and Charlie Brooker is the creator of Black Mirror. There are 8 bottles in a Methuselah. IPA stands for Indian Pale Ale. Eccles cakes are from Lancashire. Switzerland is the name of that, where's that cheese is from. Great British Bake Off was the first winner of that lad there. And Rangers was the team, Glasgow Rangers was the team that Gordon Ramsay played for as a teenager. Your first Eurovision roundup there. Waterloo was the first ever song, the song that ABBA won it with. Sandy Shaw with Puppet on a String was the UK's first winner. Switzerland was the first home of the Eurovision. Johnny Logan was the Irish singer that won the Eurovision twice and the only person to do so. Israel is where Dana International represented and is from. And Gemini were the guys who got nil point back in 2003. Your presidential questions for this evening. The Oval Office is where the President of the United States works. John Adams was the first president to live in the White House. Andrew Johnson was the first president to face impeachment. There have been 44 individuals. Like I said before, technically there are 45 presidents, but there are 44 individuals over Grover Cleveland having served twice. Now, technically, yes, on paper it's 45, but I asked how many individuals, and it's 44. William McKinley was the president who was sadly assassinated at the start of the 20th century, and Marine One is the name of Donald Trump's green helicopters. The sports fictional questions tonight. Melchester Rovers is where Roy plays. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim are the team I was looking for. Average Joes were the team in dodgeball. The Springfield Isotopes, the baseball team in The Simpsons. Tune Squad are the team in Space Jam. And Semi-Pro is the Will Ferrell basketball movie. Round 6 answers. Neck, average body temperature is 37 degrees. The cardiovascular system pumps blood around the body. It's the Achilles heel on the back of your leg. The femur is the biggest and strongest bone in the body, and the foot is where the metatarsals is. Round 7. So Cliff Richard was the UK. Conchita Wurst was Austria. Finland was Lordi. Russia was the Babushkis. Ukraine was that Christopher Biggins disco ball guy. And Epic Sax guy was from Moldova. And finally, I'm sure you picked up these questions tonight. Gatorade, P&O Ferries, Motorola, TGI Fridays, American Airlines, and Lotus were all the companies mentioned there in the final round. So that's it. That's Big Nerd Pub Quiz. So here we go. Here's the big news you've all been waiting for this week. So, like I said, the next specialty quizzes are coming up over the next couple of days. Marvel DC quiz is going to be on Monday, the 18th of May, followed by on the 20th of May is the Big Nerd 80s quiz. So if you're an aficionado of that time, by all means tune into that. The kids quiz is on every Tuesday at 2. So if you've got little ones and you want to entertain them, by all means do get them sitting down every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for the Big Nerd Kids quiz. And going forward, we're going to have a general knowledge quiz every Saturday. That's not going to change, but because the demand for specialty quizzes has been so high, so we're going to have specialty quizzes Monday and Wednesday from now on, including the Disney quiz coming up on Monday, the 25th of May, followed by the football quiz written by my good friend Tom. It's absolutely really entertaining. You should definitely tune into that, even if you're not a football fan. And coming up, this is the big surprise. I know you've all been waiting for this one. The Father Ted quiz is going to kick off our quizzes in June. That's going to be the 3rd of June. It's the Father Ted quiz. So yes, I know loads of people have been asking for that one. And don't worry, guys, I've been getting all your suggestions about Lord of the Rings quizzes and Friends quizzes over the next couple of weeks. So yes, definitely going to be doing those. Yes, I've heeded what you've said, and we're going to be doing all those different types of quizzes. So it's just a matter of me sitting down and working out when it's going to happen. But yes, don't be afraid. In June, you're going to get Friends quiz. It's going to be Lord of the Rings quizzes. There's going to be a horror quiz. There's going to be a movie quiz. It's all going to happen. So do stay in touch. Keep an eye on all the Facebook channels, the Instagram and the Twitter. I post all news about the new quizzes coming up. If you want to buy some merch, Big Nerd Pub Quiz merchandise, check out nor9tees.com and you can get yourself one of these class Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirts. Be the coolest kid on the playground. And you can enter to win this exclusive Harry Potter Pub Quiz t-shirt. And yes, like I said before, don't forget to subscribe and donate to Patreon and Big Nerd Pub Quiz. It really means a lot to me. And I thank you so much for all your kind donations over the last couple of weeks. Like I said before, this has become a full-time job for me, and I absolutely love doing them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Tell all your friends about it, and I'll see you again soon. The next quiz, like I said before, is the Monday the 18th. It's the Marvel DC quiz. I know you've got buddies who are into all that sort of thing. Marvel DC quiz on the 18th. And we'll see you again shortly. Have a great rest of the weekend. Stay safe. I'll see you all again soon. Good night.
Bye.